Broadcasting live from the Wizard School on the plain of Ulgrotha, this is Tap Tap Concede. Graham here.
Cameron here.
And Kathleen here.
And today on the podcast, because James has told us to make it monthly, we're cracking packs.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have so many packs.
We have a lot of packs.
If you're listening to this at home, you might not see this. But we have too many packs.
We've got like 40 at least.
Here, listen. That was me just running my hands along the long box.
We have a double wide long box here with like
Parts of that one came off.
With crack packs.
yeah.
So in the interest of getting some of these cracked, maybe a year or two after we receive them.
Yeah, well, I mean,
We'll get to them.
These boxes are 1,500.
Yeah.
A double wide long box.
Yeah.
15 cards in a pack. You do the math.
Huh.
We're going to crack some packs today.
Yeah.
We'll talk about our picks and interesting stories about the cards, and generally it'll be a very chill episode.
Yeah.
You can listen to some people who aren't very good at Magic talk about what they'd pick first.
Hey, I'm
And Graham's
fine.
here too.
Thank you, Cam.
Yeah, you're quite good at
that.
limited.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
And you too can be quite good at limited if you go to Card Kingdom. No, that was far too smarmy. Tap Tap Concede is brought to you by CardKingdom.com. Check out CardKingdom.com/LRR for all of your card needs. They'll ship sealed product anywhere in the U.S., singles anywhere in the world, and we like them and we recommend them because they're great.
Yeah, they're a good place and we use them ourselves.
And if you tell them Loading Ready Run sent me, button please, they'll give you a little 1-inch button of different designs. Currently the design, I believe, is still Dome 'em Out.
Ooh.
So check
A
that
classic.
out.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Classic.
Also, you can put like all kinds of requests in their request box.
They're
It's
good people
nuts.
at Card
It's-
Kingdom.
They're really nice.
They have some fairly talented artists too, who just kind of incidentally work there.
Yeah.
And they'll like if you can ask for a token.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't have to, but they might.
Yeah.
If it tickles them.
I've seen some pretty cool tokens pop up on Twitter.
Yeah. Card Kingdom. They're good. We use them ourselves. That's why we let them sponsor us.
Oh, and also yourselves at Patreon. Patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun sponsors not only this, but everything we do.
Yeah.
And we love you.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Roll it.
16.
That was
Judge?
one ring-like insistence.
Yeah. Two. Hang on. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Hey, it's Fate Reforged.
Oh, man.
And this has it's a piece of like foam core stuck to the back.
Oh.
This was given to us by Lady Thrivel Trimmer at PAX East 2016. Friday nights and this set are why I play this game, so thank you for that. P.S.
If Alicia is in here,
from Penny. Sorry. P.S. If Alicia is in here, I will buy it. Okay. Well, sorry that it's taken us some time to get to it. What's up, Paul?
The card recognizer decided that that was a Teamer Battle Rage.
The back of the
Yeah.
Popper All-Star Teamer Battle Rage.
that card's
Cast it on Nivik Cyclops and kill your opponent.
yep. Good times.
Yeah.
All right. There we go. So first up is Douse in Gloom. 2 and a black instant. Douse in Gloom deals 2 damage to target creature, and you gain 2 life. This was actually great in limited.
Yeah, well, it killed morphs
Yeah,
and
I was about to-
manifests.
Yeah.
Yeah, minus 2 toughness and 2 damage were important.
Yeah. Really, really good. Will of the Naga. Oh, yes.
Yeah,
4 blue, instant. Tap up to 2 target creatures. Those creatures don't untap during their controller's next untap step with Delve. Delve was a mechanic originally from Future Sight, if I recall correctly, but basically you can reduce the cost of a spell with Delve by one of the generic mana required by instead exiling a card from your graveyard. So if you had enough cards in your graveyard, this could cost a mere blue, and I really liked having at least one of these, generally just one, but occasionally 2, in the blue-red, the Teamer deck, the Teamer Battle Rage deck.
Yeah.
In Fate Reforged, when Fate Reforged, when the format was Fate Reforged Cons.
Yeah.
Having one of these was a really good way to be like, at the beginning of your combat or the end of your turn, tap those. Like I only have 2 mana up. Tap those 2 things. Untap, kill you with like the 4/2 hexproof ones.
Yeah. That guy found such a calling in the Fate Reforged.
Yeah.
That guy, because he had had prowess.
4/2
Right.
prowess hexproof, I think.
Yeah, 4/2
Yeah.
prowess,
And then
hexproof.
Teamer Battle Rage.
Yep.
So
10 damage, deal with it.
Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow. It's the Abzan Sky Captain. 3 white for a 2/2 flying, and when it dies, bolster 2. Bolster was you choose a creature that you control with the least toughness. If you had a tie, you could pick which one, and then you put N counters on it. In this case, bolster is 2.
I recall this being okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Like, this format was a while ago, but Bolster never quite worked the way I wanted it to.
Yeah, bolster was underwhelming. Bolster was the Abzan mechanic, and it was just sort of like
there.
It's like turning your 1/1 into a 3/3 didn't really matter that much necessarily.
Yeah.
When you would rather those +2/+2s on something
Repeatable
big.
sources of bolster were excellent.
Yeah, there were cards with bolster that were great.
Yes.
Like
There was the mythic.
I'm thinking of
Or not the mythic uncommon.
I'm thinking of oh yes, the scale Lord, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm like for example, Anafenza.
Anafenza, Treekin Spirit.
Yes.
Tree Spirit.
Yeah, the white that bolsters all the time.
Yeah.
But
She
yeah,
was great.
what was it? What was it? Yeah, it was an uncommon. It was scale something, and it was like just counters everywhere.
It was a hammering.
Bolster
yeah,
every
at
turn or
uncommon.
something.
Well, why don't,
Enduring Scale Lord?
I think so. Is it an uncommon?
Yeah, he's an uncommon.
No, not that
No,
one.
it was mono white.
Yeah.
Was
Oh,
It was a human.
There's Scale Lord Reckoner is a dragon.
No.
why don't we see if...
Yeah, well, maybe
Maybe we'll get it. Maybe
we'll
we'll look into it. Next is Enhanced Awareness, which was deeply medium. It was
I was about to say, here's a card that was like a 23rd.
Yeah.
4 and a blue for an instant. Draw 3 cards, then discard a card. Sure.
Nope.
Typhoid Rats, actually great.
It was
Absolutely.
1/1 Death Touch for a single black. The 1/1 Death Touch for 1 is generally pretty good.
good. They're always good.
Grim Contest was never as awesome as I thought it was going to be. 1 green-black, instant, target creature you control fights target creature and opponent controls, but with their toughness. So it's like, it's butt fight. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, the idea being, like, all of the...
Like, I guess you're playing like the zombie mammoth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You'd
like
be really
the
excited to pick
all the
this up.
Sultai creatures with the huge asses.
Yeah.
Like the 1/7s or the 2/7s and stuff that they had.
Yeah. Like, I guess if you're playing the X a million deck, right, you're really happy to see this. But
I don't think a lot of people played that deck.
It's 3 mana and it's an instant, but for some reason I never saw this cast nearly as much as Hunt the Weak, which is 3 and a green sorcery, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, and then they fight.
Oh my god.
Or you and an opponent, that creature and an opponent's creature fight.
Yep.
Very, very
Yeah,
good.
excellent. Excellent card.
So I was just looking around for. We've got this Dragon Scale General.
Dragon
No,
Scale
yeah.
General
Uncommon.
was also very good.
Yep.
Not the one you're thinking of?
No.
Yes, the one we were thinking of is an uncommon.
Yeah, it was weird.
Elite
That's
Scale
That's the
Guard.
one.
That's
Yeah.
the one. No.
Elite Scale Guard.
That's the man.
Yeah. So it's
That's the one officer.
4 and a white, 2/3 human soldier. When it enters the battlefield, bolster 2, that's cool. The bolstering 2 is nice, but whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it attacks, tap target creature defending player controls. Now think to right now, as we're recording this, Ixalan draft is very big, and how annoying Territorial Hammerskull is.
Yep.
And this turned any number of your creatures that had counters on them into Territorial Hammerskulls.
And there was lots of little combat tricks in this format where you could put a +1/+1 counter on a creature, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having something die with bolster was not the only way you got your +1/+1 counters.
It was quite easy to die on turn 5 to this guy.
Yeah, Scale Lord was easily a first pick. Or
And
scale Guard.
And if you
sorry.
put him by, and with Bolster, one nice thing about Bolster is if you put him down by himself, he just gets his own
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
So
So
it just becomes
a
a
creature
4/5.
is going to have it, next up, Fierce Invocation. 4 and a red sorcery. Manifest the top card of your library, then put 2 +1/+1 counters on it.
I liked these cards, the ones where it was like manifest a guy, because I think there was a cycle.
Yes.
in Wooburg for this. I'd never played this one. It was too expensive.
It was okay. I have played it. I wasn't happy about it. Yeah, I think it was probably the worst one.
I mean,
Yeah.
you got a 4/4/4/5 that maybe was a land or maybe it was something you could flip
Yeah. So
as a surprise,
manifesting,
but it was.
as a reminder, manifesting was you take the top card of your library and you put it face down into play as a 2/2 colorless creature. You're allowed to look at it. Your opponent doesn't know what it is. If it's a creature, at any time you can pay its casting cost and turn it face up. And the turn face up is like a special action that doesn't use the stack. And in this case, you get the two counters. So you're paying 5 mana, you get a 4/4. So that's not terrible, but as Cam said, it was just sort of underwhelming in this environment. Then when you turn it face up, it keeps those counters.
Yeah.
So but if it's a creature, but it could be a sorcery, it could be a land, right? You're manifesting, you don't know what you're going to get. So
It always
the
felt
white
so
one
bad
was-
when you manifested like your removal.
Yeah.
The
was always
green
like,
one,
"Meh."
the green one I think was just cheaper. It was like 3 mana and you get a 3/3.
The white one gave it lifelink.
The white one gave it lifelink, the blue one gave it flying, and I don't recall what the black one did.
I recall the blue one was very good because flying was.
The blue one and the
useful.
white one were the best,
Yeah.
by far. It was like a 2/2 with lifelink and a 2/2 with flying.
Yeah, as I recall in this format, a 4/4 was not dramatically exciting and was not like the kind of stats that was like unattainable in any other way. So it was
Yeah.
like, okay, so I have a vanilla 4/4 that might have been a card I actually wanted to resolve.
Yeah. Next up, Teamer Rune Mark. One of the rune marks was pretty annoying. Most of them were not great. This one is 2 and a green for an enchantment. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2. And if you control a red or a blue permanent, one of either of those colors, that creature also gets trample. So the rune marks, it was a cycle. It was +2/+2, and then also an ability conditional on sharing other colors within that
Clan.
clan. Thank
Yeah.
you. So there was the Jeskai one gave it flying, and I think that was the better one.
Yeah.
There was Death Touch and flying and
I think
Vigilance for white?
probably.
Yeah, they didn't impress me, typically.
It was Vigilance. yeah.
Vigilance, yeah.
I think a returning theme in the set was flying was very good to get.
It really was.
It was so because
It
there
really,
weren't a
really
lot of
was.
flying creatures.
Yeah, Jeskai Runemark was pretty good in the right deck. It was also.
It was also
3 mana.
cheap.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, this
like-
one was 3, but Trample's not as good as flying.
No.
Tasker's Cruelty is 5 and a black. Each opponent discards 2 cards. So this is interesting compared to like Mind Rot. This is each opponent, which is relevant in multiplayer games, but this also has Delve, so you could cast it for a lot less. But
I don't think I ever saw anybody
really
do that
worthwhile.
though.
No.
Shifting Loyalties was a very interesting one. 5 and a blue for a sorcery. Exchange control of 2 permanents that share a card type. So you could be like, here, have my 1/1
Yeah.
token, because tokens have creature types
Yeah, yeah,
with your crazy huge creature. Basically, you give them a bad creature and you take their best creature.
yeah.
And this is a permanent. This is a sorcery, not an enchantment. This is a permanent exchange of control.
Symmetrical effect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's fair.
I mean, sometimes 2 for winning yourself is okay.
Frostwalker is 1 and a blue for a 4/1. When it becomes the target of a spell or ability, sacrifice it. Frostwalker was actually pretty all right because it was a 2-drop and it traded up really well, or at least it traded for generally a spell. There wasn't a lot of abilities that could target.
Useful for turning on Ferocious as well.
Yeah, I was about to say that was like that 4 was actually super
Bolster
relevant.
doesn't target?
Bolster, notably, does not target. The wording on Bolster is choose a creature with the least toughness among creatures you control, and choose does not mean target.
Whenever I ran this guy, my opponents just had 1/1s to throw away. And whenever my opponents ran this guy, all I had were like 12 4s.
Yeah.
Why
And
is
it was
that?
just like-
yeah,
This is not fair.
it kind of bugs me that this guy has like the phantasm effect, but isn't like, I don't know. I liked that effect being
An
just
illusion
just
kind
on
of like-
illusion thing.
Yeah.
Having it so that also frosty things have that is kind of annoying.
Mardu Shadow Spear is our last uncommon. It's a 1/1 for a single black. When it attacks, each opponent loses 1 life, and it has dash for 1 and a black. I think we've got every keyword ability from the set here. Dash is you pay its dash cost, you put it into play, it gets haste, and then you put it back in your hand at the beginning of the next end step. It was in Warrior, which was
Yeah.
kind of relevant, and
Yeah.
like the attack and drain life is like neat, but it's not amazing.
Yeah, you didn't you didn't drain it. Just each opponent
Yeah,
loses one
sorry.
life.
Yeah, like
A drain would have been much better.
Yeah, I guess the pulse tracker of this format,
Yeah.
it probably got in and did 1 damage quite frequently.
I think Vicious Conquistador does a lot more work
Yep.
in Ixalan. Also,
That
being a
2
one
toughness.
Yeah, being a 1/2 is so relevant.
Well, especially in Ixalan.
Yeah. Our rare
Oh.
is not Alesha, sorry, is Crucible of the Spirit Dragon, which is a land. So you tap to make it 1 colorless, pay 1 mana and tap it to put a storage counter on it. This is finally we have a colorless storage land. I'm sure there was others, but it was whatever. Oh yeah, right. Because what's tricky about this one is you tap and remove X storage counters. You add X mana in any combination of colors, only to cast dragon spells or activate dragon abilities. Yeah. So of course
Yep.
we've had colorless storage lands before. This one's a dragon storage land.
Yep.
This is kind of a deeply mediocre pack.
If you were in like, you could technically take this and help fix if there was like, if you were like, I'm Jeskai, and then
I'm
you
just this guy, you know.
oh, or
I haven't made that joke in years.
or if you're like, I'm trying to think of the opposite. If you're Mardu, and then you open Ojutai, which
Yeah.
is the 2 colors that are not Mardu,
You'd take this.
then you could maybe use this to splash.
And it was worse. Like, people would go off color to splash the dragons all the time because they were so powerful.
Yeah.
But like this format was so. I remember Fate Reforged was like, this was your rare was so powerful in these packs. Or
Yeah.
could be so powerful.
This
that-
would be such a disappointing pack to open because,
The rare is only enabling of other rares.
well, no, it's just the rares were so bonkers in this format that,
Yeah.
like, you would be first picking a rare and a much higher percent of the time than most sets, and they were very, very powerful and just warped
Yeah.
game states. And to
Like-
open this as your rare would be like, ugh.
Yeah,
I was
and,
like-
and
yeah.
the person to your right has opened Tassiger, and the person to your left has opened Dagatar.
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, oh,
Now, there was also lots of great fixing in this format, and we do have one more card, which is pretty cool because rather than a basic land, the land slot in the packs of Fate Reforged were either the dual lands, the uncommon or common cycle,
the Khan's Gain lands.
yes, or fetch lands, and we have a Bloodstained Mire.
Oh!
Ding, 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 ding.
So that's not
First
bad.
pick.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah,
so
that's your first pick.
Bloodstained Mire is one of the fetch lands. You tap, pay a life, and sacrifice it to search your library for a swamp or mountain, then shuffle, and it's not picking up on the reader for some reason. But
Oh, that might be because it was from Khans.
probably that's why.
Because
Yes.
it doesn't even have the Fate Reforged
Yes,
watermark,
you're right.
Or set mark.
Put it on you.
Ba-ba. There we
There
go.
we go.
Yeah.
Bloodstained Mire.
I was going to
So,
say, I guess my pick is going to be Hunt the Week here.
I mean,
let's take a quick look back through the.
I think I would just go greed mode and go Bloodstained Mire.
I mean,
because,
if Bloodstained Mire wasn't there. Because the fixing was so useful.
Yeah.
Well, because, it was all about playing 3 color, right?
Yeah.
If
If you've only got like 16, 17, 18.
For-
I guess it was like a 17, 18 land format.
I think
But
for budgetary reasons, you'd take the Bloodstained Mire. I think for utility, you probably would also take the Bloodstained Mire just because it allows you to splash.
Yeah.
But if that wasn't in the pack, I would be taking, I think, the Douse and Gloom. Just because it's like this is.
I mean, this is actually
a-
quite an interesting and challenging pack.
probably because it's pretty medium. Like
Yeah.
Douse and Gloom, Typhoid Arrest was pretty good. I like what you said, Kathleen. Hunt the Weak. Like Mardu Shadow Spear is not an uncommon that really pulls me.
none of these.
None of these uncommons.
Yeah, none of the 3 uncommons really pull me in a direction. Like the Shadow Spear, the Frostwalker, the Shifting Loyalties,
Yeah.
and then there's a bunch of like borderline playables and ideally not playables. In
Yeah.
You know where that Crucible of the Spirit Dragon, where it really comes into its own, is the Commander 2017 Dragon deck that it is in.
It's true.
Oh yeah.
And has the 2 5-color dragons.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Caster
Super
Dragos.
super common situation that you might be in.
Yeah.
All right.
Not at all an edge case.
So, although, hey, we got a Bloodstain Mire, so that's pretty good. Roll it. 16.
16 again.
Oh, okay. Well, that was... Now it's this one. Now it's Eldritch Moon. Because
Hey.
everything shuffles forward
I
in the
love
box.
this set.
Eldritch Moon was a lot of fun. This was from Holly Young from Ottawa, Ontario. Thank you, Holly. So I assume this came in mail time. All right, first up, Desperate Sentry. I quite like Desperate Sentry. 2 and a white for a 1/2 human soldier. When it dies, you get a 3/2 colorless Eldrazi horror creature token. And if you have Delirium, it's a 4/2.
This card was good early
Yeah.
game. It was good late game.
I remember
Left
this
behind a
also went
friend.
into a couple of different decks, right?
Yeah.
You'd feel good about trading it off because you got a body again. This was a good card. I really like this card.
Yeah.
It's a solid C+.
Ingenious Scob was also just a solid curve filler. 2 and a blue for a 2/3 with Prowess, which is really nice. And then for 1 blue mana, it gets +1/-1 until end of turn. So normally you can only activate that twice to make it a 4/1, but if you have Prowess, you can activate it a third time, make it a 5/1.
Yeah. I quite like this guy.
Or wait,
Twice. You
5?
can activate it twice.
6? Twice? Yeah, you activate it twice.
And it's a 4/1.
Yeah, and then if with Prowess,
It becomes a 5/2, so you can activate it again to make it a 6/1.
6/1. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, Ingenious Scob threatened a lot. It certainly threatened to trade up or give you a lot of damage. Strange Augmentation.
Yeah.
Single black mana for creature enchantment. It gives the creature +1/+1. If you have Delirium, it gets an additional +2/+2. So it could be a permanent 3/3 for single black.
I don't recall ever playing this
I've
card.
literally, I want to say I've never seen this card before. Obviously
Yeah.
that's not true, but it feels like I have never seen this card before.
This is a really
Yeah.
low floor
Yeah.
for an aura.
This
Well, I mean,
bad.
one card, a card for +1/+1 is not worth it, and a card that it's
Yeah.
you don't get any benefits other than maybe it becomes a 3/3, but you're still paying a card and it's hard to turn on.
Yeah.
That's not good. It's way too conditional. And the problem is auras, you're already putting yourself at a risk for getting 2 for 1. So if I'm going to get 2 for 1, that's why the Jeskai one in Favorite Forge is so good, because it gave your creature flying and it was evasive, which
Yeah.
in that set was very useful because there weren't a lot of flyers.
Like
yeah.
if
But-
you were
No, that's no
already
good.
in the
Okay.
Delirium deck, do you pick this up anyway?
No.
You
they're
probably
better
wait for it to
Delirium
circle the
cards.
drain.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of auras and
Yes.
the how you're already putting yourself at a risk of 2 for 1ing there, do you recall sort of the turning point for when auras in limited became
Started to get good.
Yeah, started to get good, because I remember listening to Limited Resources at the time, and Marshall going on a whole soul searching thing.
Our
'cause-
aura's good now.
Well, because he'd always been like, no, they're
Yeah.
bad. And then, do you remember what came along?
It was an aura in this set, wasn't it?
No.
No?
I mean, there's
Was it Mark of the Vampire?
No.
like Theros was the big aura set.
This was before even that. Knightly Valor.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
That would do it.
So
that would do it.
that was 4 and a white. Your creature gets +2/+2 in Vigilance, and you get a 2/2 Vigilance Knight token.
Right.
That was when Marshall had to be like, well, hang
Okay,
on.
Yeah.
Maybe this is actually worth it. Now, Knightly Valor was an uncommon, but you know what's in this set, at common, is a very similar card called Wolfkin Bond. It happens to be the next card. 4 and a green. Creature gets +2/+2, no vigilance. Also, you get a 2/2 wolf. Doesn't have vigilance.
Yeah.
Not as good, but this was not terrible.
No,
Wolf was a relevant subtype,
Yeah, yeah.
unlike Knight in Return to Ravnica. I still didn't see this get a lot of play just because I think there were better cards, but I don't think Wolfkin Bond is terrible.
No.
It's expensive.
Yeah, but you get +2/+2 for the one creature, and you get a 2/2.
What is the aura in Ixalan? It's like the black aura gives you +2/+2 and lifelink.
Mark of the Vampire.
Mark of the Vampire is actually really good.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah.
good in Origins
Yes.
Yes.
with the Enchantment Matters set. But yeah, no, Mark of the Vampire is quite good.
So, for those of you keeping track on your auras at home.
I love that the pack allowed me to make that segue. That laborious segue. Skursdag Supplicant is our next card. It's a 2/3 for 2 and a black, human cleric. For 1 black and tap and discard a card, each player loses 2 life.
I won a game with this.
I lost a game to this.
It did not feel
was
like,
that one
like a
game-
deserved win.
Was that a game that you guys were playing each other?
No, it was.
Like I won a game with this, and my opponent's like, "You're going to kill me with this bad card," and I'm like,
Yep.
"Yeah, I'm probably going to kill you with this actually quite bad card."
I guess the point of this card was that it was a way to get your delirium turned on early.
You could turn on delirium.
Yeah, you could
You could-
activate madness.
You could pitch a card with madness and cast it that way.
yeah.
But yeah, I definitely had. I was in like, okay, I think I can do this. I'll be able to just eke out a win. And then I was like, oh wait, I'm actually just dead because at the end of my turn they activate this and then they untap and activate this, and then I'm taken 4. Uh-oh.
Yep.
Whoops.
Yeah, this card was fine, but I don't.
No.
There were so many better ways of activating madness.
Grapple with the past.
Outstanding card.
example.
Speaking of which,
Yeah. one in a green instant. Put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. Then you may return a creature or land from your graveyard to your hand.
Yeah, doesn't activate madness, but sure turns on delirium basically instantly.
yeah, well that was the important thing is because the delirium deck wanted delirium turned on as fast as possible.
Yeah,
Like you'd even run the green vessels.
like returning a creature or land card from your grave, like like a disentomb stapled to this effect at instant speed.
Oh yeah.
At instant speed.
Well, and it was basically like, hey, do you want to draw some cards? Like you get to dig 3 cards down for a creature or land, whatever you need. You know, you're not gonna creature and land made it so you didn't whiff, right? And you'd get to put some stuff into the bin.
Yeah,
It was
that's,
so
that's a
good.
really good point. In limited particularly, you can cast this on turn 2 because the chances of you hitting 3 cards and not hitting a creature or a land is basically non-existent.
Yeah.
Like how often do you cast this without already having the thing that you want in your graveyard?
Often.
Often.
If you're just trying to enable delirium, you would
Yeah.
often do it. Late game it's great because you can just be like, okay, whatever, I'll just pitch 3 cards I don't care about and get back my bomb. But you would cast this on turn 2
Absolutely.
in the right deck.
In the right deck.
Also, wonderfully, if you have not heard this yet, look up the Innistrad card, Make a Wish.
Make a wish. It's the Shadows over Innistrad card.
Yeah, Shadow. No, it's.
Oh,
original
you're right. No,
Innistrad.
it was
It's
original
uncommon.
Innistrad.
We've got the sheet.
Right, of course, yes. Because it's the same, yeah, it's the little girl
Yeah, she's
holding
her teddy
holding
bear.
the teddy bear and throwing a coin down the well. And then she's been Eldrazified.
A completely unrelated Eldrazi is retrieving a teddy bear from a well.
By the same artist at the same angle.
Yep.
So sad.
really good.
Probably the Eldrazi is getting the teddy bear for the little girl.
Yes,
yeah, that's
sure.
probably what's happening. They're known to be helpful. Guardian of Pilgrims is next. 1 and a white for a 2/2. Bear, fine. When it enters the battlefield, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn.
Spirit, it was
fine.
fine. It was fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
You throw this in a white deck.
Ooh, I like this one. Enlightened Maniac.
I love this set. I'm just getting good feels
I
about this
know.
set. I was like, oh, this sounds so
3 and a blue for a 0/2. But when it enters the battlefield, you get a 3/2 colorless Eldrazi horror creature token. And so okay. So it's 4 mana, you get a 0/2 and a 3/2. The 0/2 does 2 things very well. One, it blocks, just chump blocks. I'm not saying it blocks well, but it stops 1 attack. But more importantly, it has 4 CMC.
Yeah, which it emerges real good.
Emerge being the key.
right. I was like, what was the point of this?
So there's a bunch of Eldrazi in this set that have Emerge, which is they have their normal mana cost, which is colorless, and then they have a colored mana cost with Emerge that you can cast. And if you sacrifice a creature while you're doing that, then it reduces the generic mana of that Emerge cost by the CMC of the card. So if a creature
Oh, the flyer.
Yes.
You could
Yeah.
emerge out the flyer for so cheap with this guy.
I think
Wretched Griff.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wretched Griff was so
How do you feel
good.
about paying 1 and a blue for a 3/3 flyer that draws you a card?
3/4, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I think it was a
3/4?
3/4.
Wretched Griff was very strong.
was
It's
so good.
common. Paul's just pulling it up.
Wretched.
Wretched with a W.
Not rat. Not.
Not Ratchet Griff.
Not Ratchet Griff.
A GRYFF if you're just looking for Griffs.
Oh, FF.
Yeah.
Yep.
Griff.
Griff.
Grip.
I was looking for PH.
There it is, Wretched
Yep.
Griff. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
3/4.
3/4 flyer for 7 mana, enters the battlefield, draw a card. Is like not great, but it's not even the worst.
It's fine.
But yeah, Emerge for 5 and a blue. So if you sacrifice an Enlightened Maniac as part of the emerge cost, like Cam said, you're getting a 3/4 flyer and drawing a card for 1 and a blue, and you've already gotten a 3/2 out of this guy.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
The emerge,
Also, you're putting a human into your graveyard, or a creature into your graveyard.
the emerge deck wanted Enlightened Maniac.
As I recall, getting creatures into the yard was always the easiest part of Delirium.
Yeah. No.
That wasn't like, eh.
Yeah, that wasn't the challenging part, but it helped.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It was something, right?
Hey,
Like, did you ever just when you were playing the Delirium deck and like you're just like steamrolling your opponent and couldn't get Delirium turned on? And it's just like, I can't even be mad.
Yeah.
here's some fun Magic trivia. You know what color finally got their vanilla 2/2 for 2 in this set?
Blue?
Red. Falcon Wrath Reaver.
Oh, right.
It's a 2/2 for 1 and a red.
Yep.
That's all it does.
Yep.
But
Vampire
prior to this,
relevant?
you got 2 1s. Yeah, vampires are relevant. Sure.
Yeah, it's... Next card.
All right. It's the unofficial equipment of Twitter. It's the Thirsting Axe. Thank you for snickering at my terrible joke, Kathleen. 3 mana equipment. Equips for 2. Enchanted creature, or equipped creature, gets +4/+0.
Uh-huh.
At the beginning of your end step, if the equipped creature didn't deal combat damage to a creature this turn, sacrifice the creature. So the +4 means it's like at least 4, because you could put it on Enlightened Maniac, I guess. So your opponent isn't incentivized to just sit there and take the damage, but it's like, if I just take 6, that creature dies, and then they have to pay to re-equip the Thirsting Axe. I don't know.
I would have liked this much better if I had to throw the axe in the bin, to be honest with you.
Like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, I totally get how this works, and I can like figure out in my head, I can craft a game state where this is actually sweet. But it never worked out like that.
No.
Yeah.
It just wasn't good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very interesting design. They tried.
You know what card was great for like what's sort of just a dumb green idiot was Somberwald Stag.
Oh, right.
4/3 for 3 green. But when it enters the battlefield, it fights. You may have it fight.
I recall 4 being actually pretty darn good.
Yeah.
That it had 4 power.
This thing kicked in a lot of chests.
It really did.
What's nice about the way that this fight trigger happens, if you're on Magic Online, it does this all for you. But if you're playing paper Magic, what's nice about this is you say Somberwald Stag, you play it, assuming it resolves. You play it, and you're like, Somberwald Stag fights targeting this creature, and you target your opponent's creature. They then have priority to pump it, to pump their creature so that it would live, or to do something. They have priority to do something. You may then choose to not fight because it's a may.
Right.
And you get the choice of the may after priority has happened. So they can be like, "Oh, I'll give my creature Death Touch," and you can just be like, "You know what? They're not actually going to fight right now. You just
Maybe I'll
wasted
fight your other creature."
You don't get to pick a different creature.
Yeah.
But you get to choose to not fight, so they've
Do
wasted
you
the
want to
combat
use
trick.
Somberwald Stag's ability? Nah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, you've still targeted that creature, but then you can be like, you know what? We're cool for now.
Yeah.
So that's relevant.
I was just thinking.
That was the same with the Cartouche of Strength in Amonkhet.
Right.
I was thinking with the Thirsting Axe, the real bad feels is you don't want to equip this one second main
Yeah.
because it still checks.
Got to
Yeah.
move the Thirsting Axe around.
Yeah.
You got to
That would be a mistake you'd only make once, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Although, I just realized you could, because it's an equipped creature, and it triggers at the beginning of the end step.
So if you want to save a guy, you could move it to somebody else.
Attack with 2 creatures. This could theoretically happen. Attack with 2 creatures. They let the creature with the Thirsting Axe through,
Yep.
and another creature, say they chump block it or it bounces off one of their creatures. Then you move the Thirsting Axe, the creature that did deal combat damage to a creature, and neither of your creatures dies.
That's really good, actually.
Yeah, you just have to leave up 2 mana for that. Is the issue.
and the creature that did combat damage has to live.
This is why I would say Thirsting Axe is not great.
Yeah.
But that
In
could,
Magical Christmas
that could
Land, you can
technically
really
work.
get them to take at least 4.
Yeah, that would
technically work.
I would see that happening to me and being like, I'm going to lose this game.
Like, oh my God, they actually figured it out.
Well, bum.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, Ma!
Yes.
Abundant Ma.
Yeah.
8 mana for an Eldrazi Leech. It's a 6/4. When Abundant Maw enters the when you cast it, sorry, it's a cast trigger, so even if it gets countered, you still get the cast trigger. Target opponent loses 3 life, and you gain 3 life.
guy.
I
Also-
recall Hey Maw being real good.
Yeah, also it has Emerge for 6 and a black, so if you sacrifice that Enlightened Maniac, it only costs 2 and a
What
black.
I love about Emerge is that you could just really like pitch irrelevant creatures to give yourself a discount.
Yeah.
So like Emerge is like 7 rather
Mm-hmm.
than 8. But like if you've got an irrelevant 2-drop sitting there, now it's a 5-drop.
Yep.
And a 5-drop for a 6/4, it drains for 3 when it comes in. What a good deal. You always felt like you were getting a good deal if you got even a small discount on an Emerge creature.
Yeah.
And Emerge is still cast too, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. These were good cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, Emerge was a really clean design.
Kudos to whoever did it.
Our rare is Providence.
Gorgeous card.
Yes.
Bad
5
card.
white sorcery. You may reveal this card from your opening hand. If you do, at the beginning of your first upkeep, your life total becomes 26. And then when you cast it for 7 mana, your life total becomes 26.
I feel like this is another entry in the long line of wizards tinkering with what exactly they have to do to make life gain good.
Yeah.
Turns out it's not this.
Still not.
Yeah.
No, the one time that that life gain has been good is Approach of the Second Sun.
Which wins you the game.
Yeah,
Yes,
'cause
because
it-
it was
'cause
life
it-
gain with a win condition stapled
literally,
onto
yeah,
it.
literally
Yeah,
stapled on the card.
it's a win condition with incidental life gain.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Yeah.
Keep this out of your commander deck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Your life total, it does not that you gain life. Your life total becomes 26. So if you cast this in a game of Commander, or if you have this in your opening hand in a game of Commander, you actually lose life.
I feel like you mulligan.
It's a May, so you don't have to reveal it.
Yeah.
I believe...
It's not good for Commander.
Okay,
though. Don't
hang
play
on.
this.
Wait, okay, go with me on this journey.
Oh, no.
Is there any spell that...
Could you swerve it in Commander?
Yeah, is there any spell, like a single mana spell, or maybe you can like power something out with fast mana, that does something based on how much life you've lost this turn? Because
Because if you just have
If your
just
life
7
total-
other mana to pay for this.
if your life total goes from 40 to 26, that is technically losing, I believe this is the case by the rules, it's technically losing 14 life.
Yes.
Well, how much is Children of Corliss?
Yeah, exactly, it's 3 mana, isn't it?
All you need to do is crack Lotus,
Yeah.
Children of Corliss,
Sacrifice
reveal
Children of
this,
Corliss,
gain 14.
then you still have Providence in your hand.
Yep.
Damn. Oh, Children of Corliss is only 1. You could do it!
Yay, got there.
But why, though?
yeah, but why?
I mean, it's on color.
Anyway, and we get a double face card, because there was one in every pack. This is Graph Rats, which is very spicy. Graph Rats is 1 and a black for a 2/1. So
All right, this was the
Piker.
common meld card.
Yes, and it has meld, which is at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you both own and control Graph Rats and a creature named Midnight Scavengers, you exile them and meld them into Chittering Host, because the back of this card, I wonder if this will work. Yeah, there we go, Chittering Host, because we have the art from it, so the card recognizer knows it. Chittering Host is a 5/6 haste and menace. And when it enters the battlefield, other creatures you control get +1/+0 and menace.
This
I
was
thought
a
this card
worth-
was great.
This
This card was
I
actually
was about to
sweet.
say this was a very worthwhile payoff for meld.
Yeah, this was a finisher.
Well, because also you could play the Graph Rats early, trade them off early, and then the Scavengers
Just
allowed you to
return,
get back literally Graph Rats.
Yep,
So you
yep.
could do this all if you had 7 mana. You could play the Scavengers, get back the Graph Rats, cast them, go to combat, get the Chittering Host that turn.
I definitely saw that
Yeah.
happen a few times.
Yeah,
That was really fun.
This closed out a game.
You
Yeah,
felt
right.
and you felt clever and rewarded, and you
Yeah.
it was enjoyable.
This is a really well designed.
Yeah.
Like
So we know we're not first picking Providence. So
mean,
we
Maw
got
is a
Graph
strong
Rats,
pick.
Abundant Maw, Summerwald Stag, not the Axe, not the 2/2, Enlightened Maniac is a potential. I don't know how deep you
grapple. I
want to go
wouldn't
with.
take grapple with the past first until I knew I was in a Delirium deck.
Yeah,
I mean,
Scab is
I-
reasonable.
I think it's got to be Maw.
I would
Yeah,
take Maw.
I think it's probably the
or
Maw.
the Stag.
Yeah, I think the Maw and the Stag. You could, if you really were just like, I'm going deep, you could take the Enlightened Maniac, but really, you want the payoffs as well,
Yeah.
so you want to first pick the Maw
it was
anyway.
easier. It was much easier to pick up things that you could
Sacrifice. You can sacrifice anything.
to emerge, but the payoffs tend to like Wretched Griff. Wretched Griff, like you, unless you first or second pick that, you didn't see it.
You could
Yeah.
be,
Right.
that we could be so lucky. So yeah, we'll take Abundant Maw out of that.
So much fun. Now you get to roll the dice, Graham.
Oh, hey, spicy.
What a fun pack that was.
Don't be
17.
All right.
Well, it keeps you from recounting these things.
16, 17.
Hey.
Hey, it's Return to Ravnica.
Return to Ravnica.
I feel
Maybe-
so nostalgic.
Yeah.
Another really strong set.
This is from Cerulean, who gave it to us at PAX South.
PAX South 2016 or 17?
I didn't say.
I think we were kind of spoiled coming back into Magic when we were.
Yeah.
Like, we got to just play Return to Ravnica.
Aerial Predation. 2 and a green, instant destroy target creature with flying, you gain 2 life.
Nope.
Nope.
Sideboard.
Yeah.
Fine.
As they always are.
Mizium Skin. We're starting with a whole whack of not exciting ones. Mizium Skin is a single blue instant. Target creature you control gains +0/+1, and hexproof until end of turn.
Move it up a little bit.
Up there?
Yeah.
Great. And it also had Overload.
Oh, this card was good in Overload though, because you could really get people.
Yeah, so Overload is you pay a different, more expensive cost, and then the way it's worded is you replace all instances of the word target with the word each. So generally speaking, what happened is either there's a spell that targets one creature an opponent controls, you overloaded it targets every one of their creatures, or it doesn't actually target, which is interesting. Or on your side, it does. In this case, it's either one creature gets +0/+1 hexproof, or all your creatures do. Which, yeah,
I mean, the
you could
thing
really
is
mess
with
with
the
combat.
giving a creature hexproof is that typically they're not targeting multiple creatures at the same time.
Yeah, the hexproof is way less relevant than the +1 toughness.
But the fact that the Overload cost was cheap I thought this card was fine.
Yeah, it was okay.
Like, it wasn't like, I was never like excited. No.
No.
You don't want Catacomb Slug?
No, this card was so bad.
4 and a black for a 2/6. That's it?
Yeah.
So bad.
No.
Yeah.
For 5?
Yeah. Trestle Troll. Love Trestle
Oh,
Troll.
yeah. 1
black-green with Reach and Defender, and for 1 black-green, you can regenerate Trestle Troll. Good stuff. Very good blocker. Useful for, you see how on the art he's eating a bird? There were a lot of birds.
Yep. Populate
Bird tokens.
bird tokens.
Trestle Troll was really good against birds. Goblin Electromancer.
I love this
Oh,
guy.
he was definitely part of this.
Modern all-star Goblin Electromancer.
Is this going to be the most expensive card in the pack, do you think?
I think he's still just like a quarter.
I know. Blue-red for a 2/2 Goblin Wizard. And instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 colorless less.
Yep. Made me happy.
He was good. He was part of like this little like is it combo deck that never quite worked.
Yeah.
But in Modern, he's part of Storm.
Yes. Or he's a very important part of Storm.
Viashino Racketeer is a 2/1 for 2 and a red. Enters the battlefield, you get to rummage. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sort of the noise
Yeah.
Cremate, single black, instant exile target card from a graveyard, you draw a card. Also kind of meh.
Yeah.
All right.
What?
Let's start hitting some good stuff. Nope. It's Selesnya Sentry. It's a 3/2 for 2 and white, and for 5 and a green, you can regenerate it. A 3/2 for 3 is like perfectly playable.
It's not
So
exciting.
just sort of ignore that second ability, and it's like, okay, sure, I'll play this, but woof.
Yeah.
Downsize is this is a much better overload spell, I think. Single blue, instant target creature you don't control gets -4/-0 until end of turn. Overload for 2 and a blue. So for 3 mana, you can make their whole team basically toothless
Yep.
for the turn, which
Oh yeah, this was a good way to like really get people.
oh yeah, you can just set up some really profitable blocks and then just eat their whole team if they made a big alpha attack. Explosive Impact was the 6 mana burn spell you definitely ran.
Yep.
5 and a red for an instant, it deals 5 damage to creature or player. Yeah, instant speed lava axe, sometimes it gets there.
Yep.
Savage Surge, oh, this was annoying. Remember having to play around Savage Surge? 1 and a green, instant target creature gets +2/+2. Untap it.
Yep.
The key word being untap it.
So
I
they
mean, yeah, it's like they swing in, they leave themselves open. They're not really open.
Yeah.
They're not really open.
Golgari Keyrune. It's a mana rock, sort of. It's 3 mana. for an artifact, and you can tap it to add black or green to your mana pool. Also, you can pay black and green, and it becomes a 2/2 with Death Touch.
I recall this being one of the better key runes because it did have Death Touch.
Death Touch and a pretty cheap activation.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Like the key runes I recall being like,
the key runes were generally pretty all right.
they were okay, but they weren't like, yeah, right? But like this
Yeah.
one was like fairly useful.
They were better than the clue stones.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah. How many clue stones do you have?
A bajillion.
About
One-
a foot.
Hello.
Oh.
Hey,
yeah.
there we are.
V2 Ghazi Guildmage.
Little-
2/2 for green-white Dryad Shaman. This is the Selesnya Guildmage now.
Yeah.
in
This
set.
this needed attention immediately.
Yes, these were fantastic removal targets.
2 abilities. 4 green-white, make a 3/3 Centaur token. 2 green-white, populate.
Yep.
AKA,
Make a centaur token.
Yeah.
or any other token, because there is, of course, like bird tokens.
Birds. There were 5/5 tokens.
Yeah, what was the 5/5
It was an
token?
elemental.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
There was the siege worm token.
Right,
Oh,
that's what
yeah.
you use
Like
this
that.
on.
Yeah.
I
There
recall
was some,
that you
like,
didn't-
yeah, there were 1/1s. There were 2/2 knights. There
Yeah.
were 3/3 centaurs. There were really big, scary things.
Yeah, it was the 1/1 bird, 2/2 knight, 3/3
Armada
Centaur.
worm.
Yeah.
Armada worm was the
4
one.
4 ooze. Or at least you could make 4
Yeah.
oozes. So this is actually sort of an underwhelming pack overall. I know we haven't got the rare yet, but this is sort of underwhelming overall. But the V2 Ghazi Guildmage is like
Clear.
the clear
Absolutely.
first
Like
pick.
you would either you put this down and then somebody immediately bolts it or like blows it up somehow. But if you get to populate with it, because like you really didn't want to be in the mode where you're spending 6 to make a 3/3 centaur creature token, but it's just so you will have a target for populate. But by the time like you didn't want to like slam this on 2, you wanted to slam this where you could maybe even populate the next turn because it wasn't a super fast format as I recall, or like populate the turn it came down. Because
Yeah.
as a 2/2 for 2, it just like didn't like it would just immediately get removed. So
This was dangerous.
it was
This
so
was a
dangerous if it got out of hand.
And I think you could make an argument, like if the Guildmage wasn't here, this is an unexciting pack. You could take the Explosive Impact, you could take Trestle Troll, I think maybe. But yeah, V2 Ghazi Guildmage 100%. So the discussion becomes, do we take V2 Ghazi Guildmage or the rare, which is Corpsejack Menace?
Oh,
Corpsejack Menace is 2 black-green for a 4/4. 4 mana 4/4 fungus, and if 1 or more +1/+1 counters would be placed on a creature you control, twice that many counters are placed instead.
Right.
A reminder, the Golgari mechanic, which is the green-black mechanic, was Scavenge, which was that if you had a creature in your graveyard that had Scavenge, you would pay the Scavenge cost, exile it from your graveyard, and put +1/+1 counters equal to its power onto a creature that you controlled. There were other things that put counters on it, but that was the main sort of Golgari interaction. I guess at its worst, it's a 4/4 for 4, which is actually pretty all right.
Pretty reasonable.
There were definitely decks you could make that that made Corpsejack Menace shine, and so it's a question of
I can think of some cards from Ixalan that would really like Corpsejack Menace.
Yeah.
But so it's a question of, do you want Corpsejack Menace that potentially has a higher upside but requires other cards, or the V2 Ghazi Guildmage that is just it's an all-in-one?
I would just take the Guild Mage because there's so much populate stuff. Even with like the weaker populate cards, like the make a bird, like Eyes in the Skies and stuff like that, you could just make like tons of birds.
I think I prefer the Guild Mage to the Menace.
Because the
I
Guild
think-
Mage works on its own.
Yeah.
I think that's correct.
And there was a lot of cards that just sort of incidentally you get tokens and stuff like that.
And I
Didn't
think I
have to
would
work
fall
as
into
hard.
the trap if I took the Corpsejack Menace of taking really mediocre scavenge cards to try to enable it and wind up with just like this handful of like the common monitors
Yeah.
and things.
On the upside, no one wanted Golgari,
yeah.
so you could probably pick them up. Dredge Scorpion was very good. That was
Yeah.
the
Oh, the Death Toucher?
yeah. I think it was like just 1 green-black for a 2/2 with Death Touch. It was something crazy.
Oh, yeah, that was really good. That was a good card.
Yeah. I think we have just enough time for one more pack.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's
let's
do
do
one
it.
more pack. Womp, womp, womp.
Uh,
One.
One.
Oh, no.
So I have a pack of Tomb Raider trading cards from Thomas at PAX West 2017. So I guess
All right.
I guess we'll open these because this was our had now been moved to the front as the
booby prize.
the
if you
booby
will.
prize. Yeah.
Can we open another pack too? Let me roll
Sure.
again.
I'll quickly roll through this. We got Fool's Gambit, which must be played after rolling for any test. You can roll an additional die to suffer 1 hit of damage.
The card recognizer doesn't see these.
I know. A card called Dark, 7 Search or 8 Think, stuck if failed. Detailed Search, Lion, Idol of Life, attack from behind. And then there's a shiny one called Secret Move 7, Reflection of Fate. When you have the laptop computer and 1 cursed idol, that idol's ability changes to gain +1 to your Think ability. I love reading mechanics for a card game that I don't understand and trying to suss them out just from reading specific cards.
Seems like a contrived camera angle.
Yeah, actually. Attack from behind. Play before making a fight test. Make a move test against a creature obstacle's fight difficulty or a competitive move test against another Tomb Raider. If you succeed, add +4 to your upcoming fight result.
I feel like I've had a stroke.
Wow.
I mean, this is what everyone hears when you're talking about magic, right?
Yeah. All right, here, just roll it again.
Oh, I already did. I rolled it again, and I pulled out our pack while you're doing that.
great.
It's Oath of the Gatewatch.
Great.
Here's a couple of choice cards.
Wow, we didn't get that one.
No.
Thanks to Google image search. Surprisingly enough, the more popular card on Google image search.
Wow.
What do we got?
When was this made?
No
I'm going to say
return.
96.
Can you find Secret Move 7 Reflection of Fate? It's all foil and shiny, but it's like rubbed itself
Oh my god.
murky in the pack.
The Tomb Raider collectible card game is for 2 or more players. Each player must have a quest deck to play. This booster pack contains a random assortment of 8 game cards. Join the Raiders! Get a membership card, a periodic newsletter, and access to exclusive game cards.
That's the one.
Just send $25 check or money order outside the US, $35 to Precedence Entertainment, The Raiders, P.O. Box 2837, Tampa, Arizona.
So I have good news for you guys.
Tempe, Arizona.
After cracking these packs, we have merely 103 packs left in our long box.
Wowee.
This
There's
is from
42 on this
1999.
side.
I'm gonna take
Some of
this,
these are
Come
open
on,
though.
keep your cool.
All right.
All
Oath
right.
of the Gatewatch.
This pack of Oath of the Gatewatch was given to us by Richard R. at MagFest. Thank you so much, Richard. And we open with Maw of Kozilek. 2/5 for 3 and a red. Eldrazi Drona has Devoid. And
Oh, there it goes.
for 1 colorless mana, it gets +2, -2 until end of turn. In the red-blue Devoid deck, this was pretty great.
Yeah, I remember this guy being quite irritating.
Dazzling Reflection, pardon me. 1 and a white, instant, you gain life equal to target creature's power. The next time that creature would deal damage this turn, prevent that damage. Never saw this cast.
Nope.
No. Never.
Is no bueno. Umara Entangler is a 2/1 for 1 and a blue, a Merfolk Rogue ally with prowess.
Never saw these do anything.
The ally deck, the ally deck wasn't blue.
No, and the
No.
ally deck didn't want to be playing non-creature spells.
Yeah,
And also, how is this not a tapper when it's
Entangler,
Entangler?
yeah.
I don't understand. Canopy Gorger. It's
It's a big old dude.
4 green for a 6/5 worm.
I don't recall
Strictly better crawworm.
a lot of people playing this. I felt like it was like, yep, sure is a 6-drop that doesn't do anything.
You know what card I loved?
What?
Sky Scourer.
Oh, this card was so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It's hard to say out loud, but Sky Scourer is a 1/2 for 1 and a black, so basically Stormcrow, with Devoid and flying. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, Sky Scourer gets +1/+0 until end of turn. I once had 3 of these out.
Yeah. Yeah, that close out a game.
It's a sky scour.
Sky Scourer.
Sky Scourer.
Sky Jerk.
What was that, Dave? What did you see? It's a sky
Scour. One more time, please. Scour.
Speaking of casting colorless spells to boost your Sky Scourer, and like the thing is, it's a 1/2 flyer in black. Technically he's colorless, but in black, which was always very good.
Hedron Crawler is 2 mana for a 0/1 artifact creature that you can tap to add 1 colorless to your mana pool.
That colorless was quite important here.
It was
Little
better
walking
than it
mana rug.
looks.
I like to imagine the Hedron Crawler is the evolution of the Hedron Crab. It figured out how the Hedron worked, and now it is a Hedron.
Yeah.
I have studied the Hedron. I have become the Hedron.
That's a good card.
Little guy.
Like, it wasn't like, wow, Windmill Slam, but he was never like wretched, as I recall.
This was totally fine.
This was a Windmill Slam.
Ooh,
Oblivion Strike.
this card was so good.
3 and a black, sorcery, devoid, exile target creature.
Colorless spell because it's devoid.
Yeah. So what that means is it's only 4 mana to just make something go away, and then later you can process it. Very, very good.
Yum, yum, yum.
Stalking Drone was also very good. It's a 2/2 for 1 and a green with devoid, so it's colorless again, but it's a bear. It's a 2/2 for 2. And for 1 colorless, you can give it +1/+2 until end of turn. You can only activate that once a turn, but that's very good.
That's fine.
that
A
plus-
3/4 is so good.
Yeah, that 4 toughness I remember being a problem.
For only a single mana.
Yep.
Has to be colorless, but wow. Very good. Goblin Freerunner was pretty good too.
This was. Yeah.
So it's a 3/2 for 3 and a red. It's an ally. It has menace, but it has surge, which is you may cast it for its surge cost if you or another teammate has cast another spell this turn, and the surge cost is 1 and a red. So if it's the second spell you're casting in a turn, you can play this 3/2 menace for 2.
That's very good.
Yeah, I like this guy a lot.
God, this was a good get. It's a good pack.
We got a wastes. I don't know if that's no. It is coming up on the thing. Nice, because wastes were just
The
in the
Willowbog waste.
yeah. Wastes were just like in the.
In the pack,
In the pack.
because colorless mana was so important.
It takes a lot for one of the like big scary blue creatures to be big and scary and not be devoid. But Cyclone Sire was pretty good. 4 and a blue for a 3/4 with flying. Whenever it dies, you may put 3 +1/+1 counters on target land you control. If you do, that land becomes a 0/0 elemental with haste, and it's still a land. So it's a 3/4 flyer for 5. And if they deal with it, it leaves a 3/3 behind.
Yeah.
That's
That's
very
reasonable.
nice.
That's the kind of power I want to see for an uncommon, honestly.
Yeah. I like this one better, to be honest. This is the Wall of Resurgence. It's 2 and a white for a 0/6 with Defender, which stopped a lot of the ground attack. And when it enters the battlefield, you put 3 +1/+1 counters on the land. So so same deal. You get a 3/3. If you tapped it to cast this, obviously it can't block, but you get an 0/6.
Yeah,
and then
the
you get a 3/3.
the nice thing about this is that 3/3 can it has haste, so you can attack with it right away.
Yeah.
And an 0/6 was very good. You didn't have to wait till your dude died, and it was only 3.
Yep.
This was a good card.
Void Shatter. 1 blue with devoid, counter target spell. If the spell is countered that way, exile it. So it's dissipate,
Yep.
but it's devoid. So it's colorless.
It's dissipate that you can't pitch the force of will.
That's
Yeah,
true.
no, this is good.
Void Chatter is, of course, somebody who has frequently shat void.
Yeah.
You know what they say about Teddy? He's a real void shatter.
Oh wow.
We got a full heart swamp. Hi, Surge. We're
Speaking of
recording.
Surge,
And last card is the rare Dimensional Infiltrator.
I love this guy.
Yeah, it's a 2/1 for 1 blue with devoid and flying and flash.
Oh
which
right.
was fun. And for 1 and a colorless, target opponent exiles the top card of their library. If it's a land, you may return Dimensional Infiltrator to its owner's hand.
This guy was real good.
This guy
You
was
didn't
like
need to
surprisingly irritating.
Return the infiltrator to your hand. You could just use this to feed
To feed the processors.
feed processors, and it had an ability to dodge removal. Right? Like this guy put in a lot of work. He was much better than he looked originally.
Yeah. And just being able to flash in a 2-power flyer at the end of turn and be like, surprise, haha, attack you.
You didn't give me anything to Void Shatter? Well, I guess I'll get a 2-1 flyer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'd probably take the Dimensional Infiltrator, but let me just go through other good potential first picks. I think maybe Cyclone Sire is a pretty good first pick.
I do like Wall of
Oblivion
Resurgence.
Strike.
I think it's probably,
Like,
I like Sky Scour. I mean, so the thing is, Sky Scour and Oblivion Strike both live in the same deck. So if you're going to take one, you're going to take the Oblivion Strike, which was a common, by the way. But it's one of those instances where Dimensional Infiltrator is a rare, Oblivion Strike is a common, but you're more likely to wield Dimensional Infiltrator than you are see another Oblivion Strike.
Yeah.
So you kind of just take the hard removal.
Yeah, I recall.
You would frequently, like, Oblivion Strike was quite a high pick, and sometimes you didn't wind up in black, but you didn't feel too bad if you hedged that way.
Yeah.
No.
Right?
Sorry, you were saying?
I recall that in this whole like block, the Eldrazi were so good, and the non-Eldrazi cards were so challenged.
Yeah.
Well, like, the Eldrazi were neat and fun, and the non-Eldrazi were like, tap Vampire Envoy, drain you for 1.
Well, I like
Untap, tap Vampire Envoy, drain you for 1.
I had a lot of fun with the ally tapping deck, but
It was inevitable.
Was it
right?
was it called Cohort?
Yeah, Cohort.
Yeah.
I like the idea that you were talking about like the Make-A-Wish
Grapple with the past.
grapple with the past thing, and it was the Eldrazi like reaching down for the
Retrieving the teddy bear for the little
retrieving
girl.
the teddy bear, and I like the idea that the Eldrazi are this crazy weird alien force that messes with your mind, and yeah, every once in a while one will be just like, teddy bear, here's little girl.
Yeah.
And then just like leave. And it won't be like, what the hell just happened? It just gave me a teddy bear. Is it an evil teddy bear? I don't think so.
No, it's just a teddy bear I
And then
lost
that
when I was a
exact same
child.
guy will like come back the next day and just destroy everything for no reason.
Yeah.
It's a little
It's
musty.
like you can't possibly know what goes on inside the mind of an Eldrazi.
I love, and we talked about this at the time, but I still love looking at the Battle for Zendikar and the Eldritch Moon packs. The difference in how the denizens of the plains dealt with the Eldrazi. That on Zendikar it was this
All-out war.
like complete war. It was terror. It was the biggest disaster ever. And the people on Innistrad, when the Eldrazi showed up and people started turning into Eldrazi's,
They're
it
like,
was
oh,
like,
shit's getting weird.
oh, get my slightly larger axe, please, Mildred.
Yeah. Hey, maybe get the good pitchfork out.
Yeah.
This one's gonna need a couple of stabs.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Like,
I mean, like, that's the difference between a plane where it's like, the equipment is trusty machete, and the equipment is this pitchfork that we got laying around. That's just your main line infantry weapon.
yeah.
right.
Yeah, obviously, like, shit did get real on Innistrad, but it was just kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
Right, like,
they've
at
seen
first.
things before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like,
But by the way, when I did the search for Tomb Raiders, the Tomb Raider CCG, one of the top results,
Urg
Urg
Raiders.
Raiders.
Did you mean Urg Raider?
I mean,
Yeah.
probably not, but
Yeah.
They're not good.
Wow. It doesn't need. I love that just
They don't have to attack every turn, but
Love
they
it.
get real angry if
Magic
they don't.
is so big that if you search for a collectible card game literally called Tomb Raider, a Magic card with the word Raider in the name is going to be more relevant.
Yeah.
Or Google's going to be like, you meant this. Anyway, that is going to do it for Tap Tap Concede for this week. Thanks all for joining us for this Crack a Pack episode. We always have a lot of fun doing these. And as always, it's brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun and our friends at Card Kingdom, cardkingdom.com/LRR. Thank you so much for watching and for sending and giving us these packs. We appreciate it. And we will talk to you next week.
bye-bye.
Bye.